Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be predicting the Premier League table. It is a few days away, as you can see from the start of the Premier League. It starts in 3 days with the kickoff of Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. So we are going to try and predict the Premier League as best as possible. So we'll do it in alphabetical order because I think that helps. We'll do it based on the signings that we've made and all that kind of thing. So I'll read out some of the signings that they made and how I think they'll do. So first up we have Arsenal. Arsenal had a really decent season last season. They finished 5th, I think it was, and they were very close to getting top 4, but they lacked quality towards the end of the season. But this this summer window, they have brought in the likes of Gabriel Jesus for the departed Aubameyang and Lacazette to play with or in front of Eddie Nketiah, who would be their second striker, I'd assume, they played together. They've signed a young winger, Marquinhos, from Sao Paulo. Don't know much about him. Matt Turner from New England. He's meant to be a good keeper, with Leno going out the window as of probably about today. Decent backup keeper, looks like one for the future. Fabio Vieira from Porto, decent signing, maybe paid a bit too much for him, to be fair, but decent player from what I know. Had a breakout season, and I think he will definitely be one for the future to challenge the likes of Odegaard and Smith Rowe. And then the last one, Zinchenko from Manchester City. I don't know, I think it could be an interesting one, Zinchenko, but we move, I don't know where he'll play, probably left back to Tierney, but I'm going to put Arsenal in 4th. I think they will get top 4 this season. I think they will be a really strong team, but they will lose out to the teams like Liverpool's, Man City's, and probably drop a few silly points here and there, like all teams do. Key outgoers would be Guendouzi to Marseille, Lacazette to Lyon, Tavares has been loaned to Marseille, and that's about it. Now we move on to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have had a decent window so far, strengthening the areas they needed to, bring in Diego Carlos from Sevilla, Philippe Coutinho on a permanent, and Boubacar Kamara as a holding midfielder from Marseille on a free. I don't know if they're at the level of Conference League. That depends on what West Ham do this season. I think that they would finish 8th. I do realise that there's an error there. But yeah, and then they've got backup left back in Ludwig Goodison from Sevilla on loan. Outgoers would be Matt Targett to Newcastle on a permanent deal. I'm trying to think of anyone else. Trezeguet. Other than that, no real significance. Next ones we have Bournemouth. Yeah, I don't know what to say. From what I can see with the players that they brought in Marcus Tavernier from Middlesbrough, Ryan Fredericks, and a player called Joe Rothwell, I don't think they're likely to start. They have an aging, not great defence, a very new defence. Their keeper is okay, and Travers, I think, he needs a better move. Solanke is an okay striker. Wingers wise, they lost a good winger last season. They've got Christie, Brooks, but other than that, I don't think they have a strong enough team. So I do think we will see them jump back down to the Championship at the end of the season. Next, we have Brentford. They have invested well, I'll be very honest. They've brought in Thomas Strakosha from Lazio, Ben Mee on a free, Aaron Hickey from Bologna, and Keane Lewis Potter from Hull. That was a big one. Do I think it will be enough for them to stay up? I don't know. I'm going to put them in relegation for now because I think they will have second season syndrome, because they have lost that creativity in Eriksen. I think that was what was really doing it for them this season just gone, keeping them up in the league, because they looked like they were going to be in the drop zone at some point. So I think they could be relegated, but yeah, Next one we have Brighton. Brighton have really not really signed. They've not signed anyone of note. To be fair, I'm gonna go with somewhere in the mid-table because I don't know any of the signings, but I didn't know any of the signings last season and they did really well this season, so I had faith in fucking Potter. What was his name? I don't know. Next up we have Chelsea. Ooh. They've lost major names like Christensen, Rudiger from the back line. They've really lost the back line, and obviously Lukaku wasn't a great player and he has been sent on loan back to Inter. I don't know how their defence will do this season. I think their defence is one of their key parts. They've gone big up top with signing Raheem Sterling from Man City. Koulibaly is a great player from Napoli, but I don't think they'll get top 4. I think they will hit Europa League this season. I think this is where you see a gradual drop in Chelsea. Next up we have Crystal Palace. They have actually done some decent business. They've got a player called Chris Richards from Bayern Munich. I don't know if he's a left back. I don't know what position he plays, but he's apparently raved about. Malcolm Iboue from Derby. He was meant to go out on loan, but he's really impressed Vieira in the pre-season, so he's going to be staying on. Sam Johnson is a good backup keeper from West Brom on a free, and Cheku Doucouré from Lens for £21 million. Really good midfielder. Really helped that ageing midfield in Milivojevic and MacArthur. So I think they'll get they'll be within these. Lump them in with their Everton. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't see a lot of. They've lost major players in Richarlison. They've basically just poached Burnley at this point. We all know why Sigurdsson's been released. Delph has been released. John Joe Kenny has gone on a free to Hertha Berlin. But they have got a highly rated left back in Ruben Vinaraj, left wing back from Sporting Lisbon on loan. James Tarkowski from Burnley on free, and Dwight McNeil for undisclosed free. I don't think they'll be doing much because they've kind of lost that impact they have up top. Unless they sign another good striker in the next month, I don't think they'll be doing a great amount. Fulham, I don't know. Fulham are a team I would maybe say could stay up because they have signed a good name in Paulina from Sporting Lisbon, Andres Pereira from Man United, Manuel Solomon from Besiktas, and Kevin Mbabu from Wolfsburg. I think they're really good players and really good investment. I'm going to lump them in the relegation zone for now, but I would be swayed at the end of the video to put them up in the battlers for relegation. Andre Frank Zambo and Gustin has gone to Napoli. Jean-Michel Seri has gone to Hull. Fabio Carvalho has gone to Liverpool. Leeds have lost a key player in Rafinha and Calvin Phillips, but they have invested oddly, I'd like to say. Marcus Roca from Bayern Munich, Tyler Adams from RB Leipzig as 2 CDMs. Tyler Adams is a really good player, versatile, but do I see him fitting in the Premier League? I don't know. Brendan Arson from RB Salzburg, 24 million. Luis Sinstera from Feyenoord for 25 million, probably as Rafinha's thing. I might lump Leeds in the relegation. I don't think they'll do that great this season. So either one of Leeds or Fulham could jump up, in my opinion. I think it all depends on the manager. Other than that, no real people have left on loan and all that. Leicester, no transfers in and no key transfers out. I'm sticking them here. I don't know. Like, they had a poor season last season, but I do think they could bring it back and be contenders again. Maybe. Next up, we have Liverpool. They have brought in Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen, Darwin Núñez, big one of the window for them, and Fabio Carvalho, exciting youngster. From the Community Shield, Liverpool played with a tenacity versus Man City and were waiting for them to crumble. And when they did show weakness, Liverpool pounced, and Núñez is a great addition. I think they could be ones to win the league this season. I'm just going to stick them there, and I'll put City up there as well. But I think it's always going to be between them two for me this season. Key players leaving would be Nico Williams, Divock Origi, Mane, Takuma Minamino, and yeah. Next up, we have Man City. They bring in Erling Haaland, Ortega from a German team for free, and Calvin Phillips from Leeds United. But they did lose key players in Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. Yeah, and they've lost a rotation player in Fernandinho, and they have lost a lot of their young players that they could use in cup competitions, and also the likes of Zach Steffen and Zinchenko. I don't know if they have the capabilities to do it this season. Honestly, I don't know if Haaland is a big name and he's a great player, but it's more, does he fit Pep's system? And that is what the question we'll have to see throughout the season. We got a little taster of it in the Community Shield, and it didn't look like he worked for the duration of the game. So I'm going to say that Man City will narrowly miss out on it this season. Manchester United, what an odd one. Very, very odd one. They have a great manager in Erik ten Hag. I really rate him, but I don't get the transfers. Christian Eriksen, I think, would have been better going to the likes of Inter Milan. You've got people like Bruno there. I don't know who else plays down the middle. I can't remember for the life of me right now, because Mata, Lingard and all that have left. Pogba has left on a free. That's quite funny. They brought in a Tyrell Malacia from Feyenoord. They hijacked that deal from Lyon or Marseille, I think. They now have 3 left backs in Shaw, Tellez and him. I think the only one that's decent is actually Listerano Martinez, who come from Ajax for 56 million. He looks to be a decent player, ball-playing defender, come from Ajax, so Ten Hag has worked with him before. But I think there are so many more signings that Man United need to make that team work. So I'm going to put Man United in the 5th. I'm going to put them in 6th, honestly, and hate on me. But I just don't think Ten Hag will do it this season. Newcastle, interesting. They've got quite a lot of good, decent players. Nick Pope from Burnley, Matt Target from Aston Villa, and Sven Botman from Lille. I can see them finishing towards here this season. I think they'll be quite a good team this season under Eddie Howe. I think they just need to strikers is what I'm saying. And now we have a team that has not been in the Premier League since 1999, Nottingham Forest. I am looking at their extensive list of transfers in, and it's quite a lot. You've got Mangala from Stuttgart, Wonyi from Union Berlin, Nick Haight from Mainz, Nico Williams from Liverpool, Umar Richards from Bayern Munich, Dean Henderson on loan from Man United, Jesse Lingard on a free, Wayne Hennessy, Lewis O'Brien from Huddersfield. I personally think that they will stay up. I think they'll be in the bottom half of the table, but I think they will push for something. They have quite a decent team, and if that team ends up working all together, I think you actually have quite a team on your hands to grow for the future with. And I don't like. I have no opinion towards them, but I do think they might be a team to watch out for the future. I could be eating my words, but I'd like to think so. They look like a decent team. Now we have Southampton. They made some quite smart transfers this year. I don't know a lot of them. Romero Lavia from Man City, I think he's a youngster. Joe Aribo from Rangers, quality player. Really shone himself in this year's Europa League. Gavin Bazoon from Man City, great loan great loan spell at Portsmouth last season. So I think they've signed smart. Any major losses? Fraser Forster, Shane Long. That's about it. Tottenham have had an interesting window so far, and this could see me putting them in fourth. They have signed the likes of Ivan Perisic on a free from Inter Milan, Fraser Forster for free from Southampton, Yves Bissouma from Brighton for 35 million, Richarlison for 60 million. Oh my god, from Everton, Clement Longley on loan from Barcelona, and Dij Spence from Middlesbrough for about £13 million. They have strengthened in every single position they need and more, and they have made money, I think, in a sense, from what I can see. And I think under Conte they will get fourth. He is a awful manager. I saw the what he was putting them through in. I saw what he was putting them through in South Korea, and it looked brutal. My next one is West Ham. West Ham have made fuck all signings, basically. I think they're going to have a busy window. They have got their striker in. I can't remember the bloke's name. Samakura, I think he is. I'll put him on screen now. Great backup striker, especially to Mikel Antonio, is very versatile, and if he becomes a first team striker, brilliant. They've signed a player called Naef Agudere. I'll put his card on the screen, from Rennes for 30 million. Alfonso Areola for 10 million from PSG, I think. They made his loan signing permanent, but I think they're really going to miss a backup midfielder. So I think if they get one of them and maybe another winger, creative player, I think they might be sorted. But I don't know where I'm putting them yet. I might put them in Conference League. I don't know. Wolves. Wolves. Good manager, but they haven't really brought in any players as of yet. They got Nathan Collins from Burnley for 20 million. They got Hwang Hee-chan from Leipzig on 10 million. They brought him on permanent. But they haven't really brought any players in. They've sent a lot of players out on loan, but brought none in. So I can see them finishing maybe here. So that leads us with Fulham or Leeds. I'll stick Leeds in the relegation. I'll stick Leeds in relegation, and Fulham can stay in the Prem. They'll just stay in the Prem though. So yeah. Right. Thank you guys for watching this video, and this is my Premier League predictions. I think it's a very new look table for us. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.